I guess you know what time it is, it? What's up, everyone? It's Douchebag the producer, yeah. Let's do it! Okay, what's up? So, we're gonna talk about app updates today. Yeah, I look good. I look good. Alright, we're gonna talk about app updates and abandonment of app. So what is an app update? An app update is those dumb stuff you guys see showing up on your screen. You get a pop-up saying, oh yes, iOS X.XS is available. Do you want to download it? And I'm like, no. Why? And you might be wondering, why the heck not? App updates come with stuff like security, feature enhancements, and a lot of stuff. For example, mouse support wasn't added, and USB support wasn't added until we did the updates into iOS 13. Now I may be wrong on this, but I'm Douchebag the producer. I don't give a damn, okay? App updates are becoming more of a common thing nowadays with the world that we're in here, where if there is some sort of compromise or if there is some sort of cool feature that needs to be added, it gets added. But it's not quite that simple. An app update is a trade-off. You have some old stuff and you have some new stuff. When you do the trade-off and you get this one, you're giving up something. You gain a lot, but sometimes you lose a feature. Most times it's usually a positive, because in the direction of the company or the software or whatnot that they're heading to, they may want to add some cool feature, but sometimes you lose other features that you're used to. So an app update is one of those things you gotta be really, really careful. It's not something that I would easily auto-enable. So for both iOS updates on my devices or for the other types of updates for app updates and for system updates, so iOS updates, it's something I would caution you to disable them and only update it when it's a feature that you definitely need to get. I put out a story for you, written by Sion, but I'm going to read it in DB's voice, okay? So, a year ago, Sion was still getting used to iOS 12.4, and it was able to get a lot of cool features and cool melodies going through. It was having a good flow with a lot of the apps. Then iOS 13 came and promised file support. And as soon as he saw it, he heard about the rumors of 13.0 not being great, so he actually waited for 13.0 to pass away. Yeah, Sion did his research. Sion got on 13.1, and man, that was the most frustrating experience. Because Malaka, that thing was, you'd have apps crashing, you'd have the ability that you can't send audio from one app to another, which was something I used to be able to do. Rather, this was something that Sion used to be able to do. It wasn't able to send files from one place to another easily, or it wasn't, whenever it opens an application, after a few minutes it just crashes for whatever reason. That was the most unstable experience that I've ever had, both on Android and iOS. And sure, they did a lot of updates. Apple kept up on it, and because of the scenario there, I kind of had no choice, because I had to keep updating and updating and updating until we got to a stable point, which is where I am right now, that I'm comfortable just leaving it here. So where am I going with this, and why is it that I'm advocating this? So you could be like, hey, tough luck DB, but it's not quite the same. The reason why this actually resonated was because it had a negative view on the way I saw iOS as a platform, because at any moment it can change with just you accepting an update. I'll bring a more recent example. Monopoly, the called Monopoly sync, they had this really, really cool theme and randomized feature that was inbuilt into the app. Now, it could seem like it's such a trivial feature, but I had also updates on my iPhone and as well as on my iPad. That day I didn't carry my iPhone with me. I left it at home. I took my iPad. Then I was glazing through the Audio Boss forum and they said, oh yeah, there's a cold update, but it's removed the randomized feature and it's removed the theme. And I was like, what? And for those of you who are like wondering, okay, what's the power of the randomizer and why do I need it? Randomize allows me to make a lot of patches for the Cog Monopoly synth without me even needing to tweak any knob. For someone who knows little about synthesis, that was such a blessing that I could make almost any patch and then just tweak it until it sounds awesome. Eventually, after like 2 months or so, Cog did bring back the randomize feature. But we lost the team. And that team was really, really gorgeous. They made a really funny joke though. Like, how's the team gone? It's Hasbro. Get it? Because Hasbro is the company who makes Monopoly. Okay, I'll say myself out. Get out of here. Okay, let's get back to it. So overall, where am I coming from with all of this and about teams and stuff like that and updates? If you see an update, do a little bit of research. If you see an update and it's an app you frequently use, do a bit of research into that app and see what exactly it brings. There's the patch notes that the developer releases. There's other people's experience in the forum. Back in the days, we used to have, you just buy a keyboard and that was it. There wouldn't be any update. You'd go with it all bugs and all. So it was never really perfect. They just shipped you a usable version. You'd come up with some glitches that people would call features. Skyrim users, you know yourself. But those features would be ingrained into the device and it would give it the character of it. Heck, if you look at the Minimoog, it used to overheat. The filters used to overheat. You always had to tune them. It was one of those things you had to eventually just accept. But you did, because the ability of that tool to make great sounds was unmatched. And that's where I'm coming from with app updates. Whenever you see an update coming through, ask yourself, do I need this update or is this an app I frequently use? Because if it's an app you don't use, you don't really care about updates anyway. Because when you do eventually get to the point where you're going to use it, you'd work with the features and then you start using it. But I keep an eye on the apps I mainly use. In my case, GarageBand, Groovebox, Bloxwave, Launchpad, and a few others which you might be seeing from the videos here. I keep an eye on the features that I'm installing. And if it's something that I'm not okay with or I'm not ready to learn, I hold off on the update because the updates will still stay there. Developers want you to have their latest tools. It's not going to run away. So let's take it on the flip side. I'm going to have DB come back here. So DB, all right, we're back. App abandonment. Let's get started. Damn. So another scenario that happens is, for whatever reason, the developer is unable to support their product. Whether it's because the product doesn't make sense financially, they've changed licenses, they've changed vendors, or unfortunate news like the developer moving on to other stuff, or even developers passing away, because let's be real, developers are human too. And yeah, for whatever reason, the app just stops being updated, or the app not getting the new features. As of right now, of filming of this video, we've got AUV3. But the question still remains, why does that matter in your production skills? So this is me being real as it. A lot of these things happen, and it's a shame it does happen. But I'm looking at you as a music producer. Why does it matter if an app is abandoned? Because what, you're not able to use this really, really cool feature that you used to like before? So what? It doesn't mean that I think that guitar is really crap. No. I use the guitar, I play it out because that guitar is part of me. I have a really bad keyboard I picked up from a thrift store that some keys creak. It makes this weird noise and I have to sometimes repeatedly hit some keys before it even works. But damn it, I love that keyboard because it's one that grew with me. It's one I was able to learn a lot more intricacies. It's one that actually taught me to play my melodies a lot more precise. It's one that forced me to think of creative ways to make the same sound and to think of chord progressions that I wouldn't have normally done. Because some keys wouldn't work, so I had to think of a different way of playing the same melody. It's the same thing with an application, yeah. No one app is ever going to solve everything that you need. Or it may never have that game-changing feature that you want. But that's perfectly fine. And even if nothing ever really lasts forever. Like, who knows, I may find a better app better than GarageBand or the apps I listed. And I might move on to that in my production style. But that's perfectly fine. So what I'm saying here as DB the producer or as Sion or as a music person in general is, and in the words of Diplo, it's not how you get the sounds, it's what you do with them. So as of right now, it's Inter-App Audio versus AUV3. Maybe it gets discontinued, maybe it doesn't. Maybe Michael from the Audio Box community comes up with a genius way to be able to keep those Inter-App Audio apps to work on other doors. Maybe it doesn't happen. So what? The apps will still work. And if you're worried about losing them, just don't update. Just don't update. But you could be wondering that, what if I miss out on all the features? Well, let's look at it realistically. One, people using iOS 12, they still get updates on their app. So even if you don't have the latest update with the latest feature, you will still eventually get the app that you want to work the way you want it to work. Two, you do decide to make the trade-off. You're getting better features, but you're going to lose some other stuff. And that is not a bad compromise, if that's what you do decide to go with. So you could you could reach out to the developer. But if you reach out to the developer, be chill about it. And if they do decide to move it into AUV3, great, that's perfect. If not, you gotta respect their decision. Because again, making an application, making a product is a labor of love. Companies come and go. That's the reality of life. Things come and go. There is spring, there is summer, there's fall. Rather, there is rainy season, there is dry season. We go through different phases in our life. We grow from being kids to teenagers to adults. We change in some form or another. What's stopping our applications from changing? So let me know your thoughts, seriously, because this has been a real debate. What I'm saying is, I don't believe in the word an app is abandoned. Because you're the one who actually abandons it if you stop using an app that you really, really like. It's not the developers that really abandoned it. They made a product, and the product does exactly what they want. Or it does it to a point where they're comfortable with leaving it as is. You're the person who abandons an app because you don't want to use the product, because it doesn't suit your needs, and that's fine. But to claim that an app is abandoned because it doesn't support a feature or because it hasn't had an update is hogwash. Because at the end of the day, it is still a tool. You're the one who uses the tool. The developer just makes a tool that is accessible to a number of people. But if you ever get to a point where you want a particular tool to do something exactly the way you want to do, hey, pick up app development, or learn how to make a script, or learn how to tweak an application to do something using tools like Audio Share. Let it make the tool more custom to your needs, and let it be your music that gets out of it. And trust me, when you start making tools do things you want it to do, you have an experience that can't be explained to anyone, because that is you. That is the way you interpret your music. So yeah, DB out. Whew, that was a long one, wasn't it? Anyways, let me know if you like this type of formats of videos. I'm gonna try to keep DB in check, but sometimes it gets a bit, so yeah, I'm gonna try and control my DB post, but alright guys, hope you have a great one. Whoosh. You know what time.